everybody, welcome back to the All Things Good channel and to this week's video. How are you? Hope you're all doing very, very well. And if you're in the UK, happy bank holiday weekend to you. And you know it's bank holiday weekend when you're in the UK because it's raining. Oh well, oh joy, and welcome to, well, it's Moment on the Bed already because I actually don't have a vloggy vlog for you this week, so I just thought we'd have a chat and do Moment on the Bed as this week's vlog, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm a little bit of a hot mess at the moment. I have had a phenomenal week and I have been so busy that I actually haven't really picked up the camera. But I've also had an enormous amount of family time, which was very important because as we speak, as you're watching this now, Sunday morning, my son is in the sky on his way to Australia. Wow, it's been such an emotional week and super, super busy preparation, getting him ready for his travels to the other side of the world. But talk about an emotional week. Oh my goodness. I just didn't realise that when the time actually came for him to go, it would be quite as emotional as it was and as it is. I'm still sort of, as he's in the sky at the moment on tender hooks. Can't wait for that text to say, Mom, I've landed, I'm here in Sydney. But until then, I am a little bit of a hot mess. It's been so full on, but lovely in many ways because we've had some visitors this week and people that wanted to see Adam before he went to Australia. He's been to see friends, he's been to see his family, he's been up to Manchester to see his extended family and friends. And then we even had a visit on Tuesday from my dad's best friend who lives in High Wycombe and has obviously known Adam since he was born. He's known me since the day I was born and has remained such a lovely, true, wonderful, loyal friend to the family. And since my father passed away, has often come to visit Nancy and wanted to come and see Nancy. Hasn't seen her in this house. And with Adam leaving, it was an excuse for them to come visit too. So they came on Tuesday. That was lovely. And then on Thursday, which was my final day with Adam really, because he actually went off to his girlfriend's house on very early hours of Friday morning. Although he's not actually flown to Australia until today. He's actually had a couple of days with her at her house. So the last real day I had with Adam was Thursday. We spent all day together. We just did all sorts of things in the house. We went shopping for some last bits and pieces for him. And then on Thursday night, the whole family went out for a lovely meal at a lovely restaurant in Lichfield called The Larder. And it was just great. And it was just so lovely to have that family time and just concentrate on one another, spending time together. But it has meant I haven't picked up the camera this week at all. So I didn't want to leave you without a vlog, but I thought we'd just have a little chat instead. And then next week we can be back into the full swing of it, can't we? But there's a few little things I'd like to update you on. And the first one is, so many of you have been asking me if you can get in touch by mail to me and Nancy. And if I haven't already mentioned it, and I'm sure I have, but next month in June is Nancy's 95th birthday. And I've had a few emails from various people over the past, couple of years really, that have said, we'd love to send Nancy something. And at Christmas, people wanted to send Christmas cards or send something for Nancy's birthday. We don't expect it, don't get me wrong, at all. And she doesn't expect it. But so many of you have now said to me, we'd love to send Nancy something or a card for her birthday or what have you. So this week I have actually set up a PO box address that you will be able to write to me and or Nancy if you wish. If you want to send her a birthday card, that would be lovely. She'd love to have that. And it is all up and running, but I haven't actually been given the actual PO box address yet. It's coming in the post to me and it should be here this week. So hopefully in next week's video, I will be able to give you my PO box address. So if you did want to write to me and you're not that, you're not a fan of sending an email, or you do want to send Nancy a birthday card or anything at all, we have a PO box address coming up. So I should be able to share that with you in next week's video, and then I will keep it permanently linked in the description box down below. So if you did ever want to write to me or anything like that, you can directly. Wow, I'm actually only going to set it up initially for 6 months. So, because you do have to pay for a PO box address. And I thought, well, we'll see how it goes. But so many of you, as I say, have said, I'd love to send Nancy something. And please we don't expect it at all. But there's so many of you that have emailed me or put messages in the comments box and said, do you have an address we could send Nancy a birthday card to? And I'm like, I can't give my address out for obvious reasons. So I thought, well, you know, she may like to receive, well, she'd love to receive birthday cards, obviously, but you may like to send a card or something. And so if you do, we will have a PO box address that you can do that. So as soon as I have that address, I will share that with you. That's the first thing. Secondly, I think I mentioned to you, I think it was probably last week, that the doctor has decided that I might be lactose intolerant. So I have been 90% strict, I would say, of trying to alter my diet a little bit this week. I'm having lactose-free milk. I'm not having any cheese. I've got some lactose-free Philadelphia, which is nice, spread for sandwiches and things like that. I've got some lactose-free normal spread butter. And I've been really quite cautious. I've had a few occasions where I have eaten dairy. When we went out for a meal on Thursday, there wasn't any avoiding it really, because you have to have a pudding, don't you? You do have to have a pudding when you go out for a special meal. And what else? I did have something the other day that got a bit of cream in. And actually, all I can say is, although I haven't been 100% religious with it, I'm not really seeing any difference at the moment, as of yet. Maybe a little bit, but I'm not convinced. So what the doctor actually said to me was to try this for a couple of weeks, see how I get on, see if it makes any difference. Well, I'm going to do it for another week, maybe another 2 weeks, give it 3 weeks and see how it goes. But at the moment, I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced. I'm still convinced that all the bits and pieces that I suffer with, for want of a better expression, are just hormonal, menopausal, and there ain't no getting around it until that's all over. Who knows? I don't know. And the other thing that shocked me quite a lot this week is looking at myself in photographs. And I've had quite a few photographs taken this week because of visitors, family, Adam going away. He wanted lots of group photographs and what have you. And I look back at them, and in my eyes, I just look awful. And by that, I mean incredibly overweight. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not stressing about it, but I'm a lot bigger than I should be, I would say, to be really healthy. And I am massively bigger than I was 2.5 years ago. Now, I'm sure there is a lot involved with that, particularly hormones and menopause. But I've really disliked seeing myself in photographs. And it's brought me down, to be honest, this week. And I think I'm emotional anyway, with Adam going away, rushing around, doing loads of washing, and just sort of being 2 steps behind myself, really, this week, and it all being a little bit full on. But I looked at these pictures and I just thought, oh God, I'm just not happy with myself. I'm sure some of you might have that feeling, and you wake up and you just feel a bit, ooh, I just don't feel happy with myself. I'm not happy with the way my clothes fit. I'm not happy with my clothes. I'm not happy with the way I look. And then I thought to myself, is it really that important? I mean, that is a very sort of vain thing to say, isn't it? I'm not happy with the way I look. And then I had to sort of have a bit of a word with myself yesterday and sort of go, that's a little bit vain, really, Paul. You know, it really isn't that important. And I'm not like massively overweight. But I am a good 3, probably 4 stone over what I should be. And then I was thinking about, Adam going away and the importance of family and how much we all love one another and all the rest of it. And I thought, it's like really not that important. It's important that I stay healthy and, not drained or burnt out for looking after Nancy and everything else that's going on. But just to look at myself and go, I don't like the way I look fat, or I look a bit fatter than I should be, or bigger than I should be, or not as healthy as I should be, is really not something I really should be overly concerned about, I don't think. And also, nobody else is bothered about it. And Paul, always says to me, but you're beautiful and I love you. And I love you inside and out. You are beautiful inside and out. And I think that is just so special. And I'm so lucky to have somebody like that, because I've had relationships in the past where people are not like that at all. And I sometimes think, I'm maybe I've put too much weight on to be attractive to my partner. And Paul's like, you're crazy. Absolutely not. I love you inside and out, and it really doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And then I thought to myself, well, no, it doesn't really. It doesn't matter. What matters is how I'm functioning, how healthy I am, how I'm feeling. Am I able to look after my family? Am I able to look after Nancy? And I'm doing that. And I'm doing those important things, and they are the most important things. But don't get me wrong, I would like to lose a bit of weight, and I would like to try to do that. But it's that what I have noticed, that losing weight is much, much harder at the moment, and that it probably is because of the menopause and all the hormonal changes. So if I do the things that I used to do to try and lose weight that worked very quickly, or would work quite quickly, really, I suppose, is not happening now. So there's that element as well of, not that I'm not going to bother to eat healthy or be careful, because I am being healthy and careful. But if it doesn't have the effect that it used to have, not to be bothered by it. Because, as I say, I think everything that I'm experiencing, the fatigue, the hormonal changes, the mood swings, the other symptoms, the weight gain, is just menopausal, isn't it? It's hormonal and it's menopausal. And, well, I could go on and on and on about it, but I won't, because that's just the way it is. So that's been this week, really, very, very emotional. And the thing that really got me on Thursday night was, we'd been out, we came home, we were sorting some last things out for Adam. I work on a Friday, so I get up really, really early on a Friday morning. And it was getting to be about 11 o'clock on Thursday night. I thought, I am really going to have to go to bed now. And Adam said, well, I'm going to go to bed because I'm getting up early to go to my girlfriend's tomorrow morning, and that's it. And then he was off. And so we all sort of said our good nights and our goodbyes at the same time before bed. And Adam went in to see Nancy in her room and had a chat with her, and then gave her a big kiss and a cuddle. And when he came out of her room, he was crying. And that's the moment I lost it. I fell apart as well. And he said, this is really sad, Mom. What do you say in that moment? And I want this to be such a wonderful experience for him, and I know it will be. But in that moment, there was this real sadness of leaving Granny. And I know why. And it's obvious why. And I will say it, because she's poorly. She has Alzheimer's dementia. It's very advanced. She's also 95 next month. And Adam could potentially be gone for a year. And he will have thought in those moments, saying goodbye to Granny, is this the last time I'm going to see her? He will have. It's natural. That's what he will have been thinking. We didn't say it out loud, obviously. We didn't say it to each other. But he was very upset. And he said, I'm really sad. And I said, Adam, this is your life now. and this is your time. Your granny has had her life and her wonderful travelling experiences. She's been all over America. She's met film stars. She's been to see some incredible things. She has been on Native American Indian reservations. She has been to the Oscars. She has done some amazing things in her life that have involved travel that she wouldn't for 1 minute want you to not have yours. This is the best thing you can do before you decide to settle down, live together, or get married, or have a family, whatever it is that Adam decides to do. He has to do this now, and it's an amazing opportunity, and he is so lucky to be able to have that opportunity and the finances in order to do it. And he's worked for the money to take to Australia. We haven't given him anything to go to Australia with. He has saved some money when he came out of university, and he's worked at 2 jobs for the past year to make enough money to go. And I'm very proud of both my children for that, because Grace, my daughter, she works incredibly hard. She's a carer. She works some very long hours, and she's completely, although she lives with me, self-sufficient. So she earns enough money to look after her car. She does all her own food shopping. She cooks all her own meals and pays me rent. She can't afford to move out, but she is incredibly responsible for herself. And Adam is exactly the same. And I will give myself a big tick for teaching them those values. And it's by doing that, Adam, at nearly 24, has got the opportunity to go to Australia because he has funded it for himself. I am very proud of that. And I know there's many people that would not be in that position or even be able to contemplate doing something like that, especially at his age. So we had a little chat about, this is a wonderful opportunity. You grab it, you go for it, you run with it, and you have an amazing time. But you're only a day away, and we can FaceTime, we can call. He can watch my vlogs every week, so he can still see Granny, and it's all okay. In fact, it's all incredible. It's wonderful that he's gone to Australia. But Thursday was oh gosh, it was. We did have some tears. It was very emotional. But we're okay, and Nancy's good. Nancy has, quite honestly, deteriorated quite significantly recently with the Alzheimer's dementia, and it has prevented me from filming her actually a little bit over the past couple of weeks, because she's very vacant and she's not very receptive in conversation at the moment. And she's recovered well from her water infection. She's having a blood test and an MOT at the doctor's in a couple of weeks' time, so that's good. Well, I do her blood pressure as well and all that. She's recovering well from the ulcer that she's had on her leg. We've now been signed off from the doctors because we were going weekly to have that dressed and cared for, and that's much better this week. So she's been signed off for that, and she's okay, but she is definitely, well, getting worse is the only way I can put it, which is more challenging for me, and it's more challenging for my household, how it runs, what we do with her. She's very sleepy this week. She's having lots of daytime naps if we're not out and about, or if we've been out and about rather, and we come home, she very quickly falls asleep. She's having a couple of naps in the evening. We're having a lot of sundowning. If you don't know what that is, look it up really on Google and have a look at what sundowning is for people with dementia, and that's getting worse. And there's been a couple of occasions this week where I've thought, right, have I got time perhaps to take her out and we'll do a bit of vlogging with Nancy, and it's just not happened this week. 1, because we've been too busy, and 2, because if there was a moment, it wasn't appropriate to film her. And I've got to be very conscious of that, because she loves the channel. She loves being part of this, and she loves your comments, and she loves it when you've seen her on here and then you go, oh, it was lovely to see Nancy today, give her a big hug from me or what have you. And she loves that. But I can also tell, and I have to be her protector. I can't just film her willy-nilly, especially if she's not in a good moment or she's not having a good day, because it's not fair, because it's a little bit distressing. And I wouldn't want her privacy to be invaded in those moments. And I'm sure you understand what I mean. So it hasn't really been appropriate for me to film her this week particularly. But I also wonder whether that is because of Adam going, because she's very confused. She knows he's going and she knows he's gone to Australia. But then she'll say, how long is he going for? When's he coming back? What day does he come home? And she must feel like he did, that maybe she's not going to see him again. And it only dawned on me today, really, that thought. And I thought, she's a bit vacant, because she's not vacant, she's quiet and thinking. And I'm sure she's thinking about Adam. And she, like him, will be thinking, when is he going to come home? Because am I going to see him again? So that, combined with being incredibly busy this week, has made for a very, very emotional time for me. And I have felt, I've run the gamut really of emotions this week. I'm elated for Adam. I'm going to miss him terribly. I already miss him. I miss him terribly. And it's, that sort of protective part of me looking after Nancy. And it's a bit of a tricky one when she says, how long's Adam gone for? When's he coming back? And I go, I don't quite know. I don't know. Probably won't be too long, but I don't know. And I think to myself, is that right? Should I just say to her, Mom, he could be gone a year? But the truth is, we don't know, because we don't know what he's going to think of it. He might do a couple of months and not like it and come home. He might love it, do 6 months, do 12 months. We just don't know until it all sort of kicks off, really. But yes, I'm sort of aware of her emotional needs, and that, as well as sort of being emotional about Adam too, and wondering what he's feeling and he's thinking. He's the one that's going so far away from home. He will get homesick. And of course, being a mother, I just worry about things like that. And so all these emotions have been layering on top of me this week. And then I've just gone, whoa, I'm a little bit shattered. I'm a little bit shattered this week. So hence we're just doing Moment on the Bed, and there is no vlog. Really, no vloggy vlog, but a nice little chatty vlog. But while I've got you, I was going to ask you if you would like me to do a bit of a Q&A. Now, don't get me wrong, I am no expert, I am no medical professional, but I do live with someone that has Alzheimer's dementia, Alzheimer's disease type of dementia, and who's very elderly and very needy. And it has taught me some incredible things. And I'm sure there are some of you that are starting this journey yourself by starting to look after somebody in your family in the same position, or like me, you are now living with that member of your family and it's new, and you've decided to move a parent in, or both your parents, or you're thinking about putting a loved one into a care home, or you're thinking that you're aware that somebody in your family isn't quite right. And by that, I mean you're starting to notice some changes, some forgetfulness that isn't just little bits of forgetfulness, but is a consistent forgetfulness or a repetitiveness. And I'm interested to have those discussions with you. And I thought maybe if I do a Q&A soon, you could ask me whatever questions you like. Now, don't get me wrong, you can ask me anything about anything. You can ask me about me, you can ask me about my family, you can ask me about my home life, you could ask me if there's certain tips or tricks and things like that about home life or looking after your home that you'd like to know. But if you want to talk about Alzheimer's dementia. I am no expert, but I'm learning a hell of a lot. Or if there's something more you'd like to know about Nancy, I mentioned before that she's had an amazing life. She was a model. She's travelled all over the world. She has been on movie sets. She has done some amazing things. And talking about the past for Nancy is very important. And her past is her present, because she doesn't know what's going on right now. She doesn't have any understanding of what will happen tomorrow, but she can talk to you about the past. So if there's anything you would like to ask her, if there's anything you would like to know about her history, then that could be interesting. And I thought perhaps we should do a Q&A soon where you would have the opportunity to ask Nancy anything you like. So if you want to drop me a question in the description box down below from this video, then I'll start collating all those questions together. And when we've got enough, I'll add them into a vlog in the not too distant future. How's that for a plan? Anyway, so yeah, having this moment on the bed is the first time I've really sat down this week. And as I say, it's been very full on and very emotional. But now Adam has gone, we have to get used to another new norm, which isn't completely alien to me, because obviously he's been at university and he didn't live here for 5 years. But that wasn't the other side of the world, and I was seeing him every couple of months or so. So this is a whole new experience for us as a family. But he has indeed gone, and yeah, we're heading into a new chapter again. Exciting, I suppose. We have got viewers coming up on the house next week, I think, or end of this week. So we're starting to see a little bit of movement house-wise, and that's a whole nother topic, because we may not even move. We're not sure yet. So I shall fill you in on what's going on there soon. And we're making some changes in the house now that Adam's gone. We're moving things about and going to make use of his room a little bit more. So I've got a huge declutter to do and a huge sort out to do in Adam's room, which I may pop into next week's video as well. So thank you very much for joining me. And if you are new to the channel, thank you very much for joining me. We don't normally do this. We do this moment on the bed at the end of every episode. But because this week there hasn't really been a vlog, we have just done moment on the bed. So if you're joining me for the first time, this will be totally confusing to you. You'll have to go back a couple of years and catch up, and then you'll realise what we're up to. Anyway, I'm going to go now because I've got some jobs to do, and I need to get preparing for next week's vlog, because you deserve it. Oh my goodness, let's get back to some sort of normality. But thank you for joining me. I hope you're all doing really well, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and hopefully you've all got, or some of you have got a bit of time off being bank holiday. But let me know what you've done this weekend or what you're up to if you're off tomorrow for bank holiday Monday. And until next Sunday, stay safe, stay in the boat, and keep doing all things good. I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.